runes. Runes are one of the craftable pieces of equipment your character can equip for bonuses in both battling and gathering. So, big caveat here at the top for new players. For battlers, new players should equip these as soon as possible. Keep in mind you can upgrade your Rune Belt to equip a second rune for less than the price currently of a Training Rune 4. So pretty early on you'll want 2 runes. And so as we talk about this, not only do the runes get better, but the quantity of runes you can equip can also increase. So at certain points you'll ask yourself, for this amount of gold, is it worth buying an additional rune slot to put in a smaller rune? Or is it worth upgrading one of the runes that I currently have? So let's see, for gatherers, runes should be considered a late game upgrade. The bonuses for gatherers are not very good, and the runes themselves are very expensive. So your ROI is very poor for a gatherer. It would be great if at some point there were some gathering runes or runes that had slightly different bonuses than the ones that are just presented in this table, some variety, but that's currently not how this game handles this. So as we see here, we have 9 runes. These are commonly referred to as T1, T2, etc. through T9. That's how you usually see it in the chat. Training Rune 1, 2, 3, and 4. As soon as you hit the 5th level, Rune of the Warrior, Rune of the Gladiator, Rune of the Warlord, Rune of the Overlord, and Greater Rune of the Warlord. Now, I'm not going to talk about rune crafting now. That'll be a separate page. This is just from the perspective of someone looking to upgrade their equipment. So you can see the attack, health, and defense. Starts out with a plus 10 or a 0.5% of your total stats. So for those of you with a great amount of stats, that plus 10 may not be that good, but half a percent maybe. You can see further down with something like the Rune of the Overlord, 370 may not be that much, but 18.5% may be much more significant. So that's how that was changed, and that was a change a few months ago to make runes more relevant or more kind of worth the cost of making them and purchasing them. That they have these percent bonuses, and these only affect attack, health, and defense. Before this patch that maybe came out, I don't know, less than a year ago or so, it used to give accuracy and dodge, which was also a decent gatherer bonus, because I would use accuracy as a gatherer to hit bosses, so that bonus was welcome. Then these were changed to be just attack, health, and defense. And then this resource boost was added. And you can see these percentages are pretty low. In the current meta, I don't know, like a Rune of the Warrior is like 30 million, right? So 30 million for a 0.4% gain. And then, Rune of the Gladiator, I don't know, they go for over 100. So for a 0.8% resource boost, it's not very worth it. So for gatherers, this is one of those things that you go after when you have nothing else to upgrade, right? Or when your other upgrades get very expensive. And you upgrade it, and you can expand this using your Rune Belt. So to go to the game for a second, in your home screen, you have this equipment, Rune Belt. So everyone starts with a Rune Belt 1. You have 1 slot. And when you click it, you'll have an option to upgrade it. This item is fully upgraded. So I've taken it all the way to Rune Belt 5. I can equip 5 runes, and I currently have 4 Rune of the Overlords and a Greater Rune of the Warlord. And you can just unequip I can unequip, and then when I say equip rune, it'll take me to a list of all the ones I have, and I can equip a warlord. So going back to the documentation site, your first slot is free. Your second slot will cost you 1 runic leather. Third is 5. Fourth is 25, and then your fifth 125. So that scales quite dramatically. Rune Belt, yeah, and so you get runic leather. You can get it from dungeons, from bosses, from raids. The token store, though, that is not the recommended way to get them, and the token store video will explain, or the market from other players. So just to kind of put a gold price on this, runic leather, kind of the meta right now is about 6 million per. So that first upgrade is 6 million, which is reasonable for someone within their first week of play. That next one will be 30 million, reasonable within a month or two, depending on how many actions you're doing a day. Then you're going up to 150 million, and then what is that? 125 times this. Yeah, 750 million for that total purchase. So to get it from, I don't know, we're spending probably 900 million to get to max out your rune belt. So that may seem really expensive, even the 25 runes, or sorry, 25 runic leather at 150 million gold. But the current meta would put that's the price of 1 gladiator rune. So you'll kind of ask yourself, do I upgrade my rune, or do I simply expand my rune belt, which is more affordable, and then put in a, a lower rune? Yeah, so that is how runes work.